Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Breakfast with Buck. Today we will start the beginning of the end of our miracle series. We're going to conclude with all the miracles that Jesus conducted during the final week of his life and his death and resurrection. So today we will start with Luke chapter 22 and pretty much verses 47 through 53. This is the account of Jesus' arrest after the Last Supper. Just to paraphrase a few events that have already occurred, Jesus has already predicted that Peter will deny him 3 times. He's already told him, that before the rooster crows, you'll deny me. And Peter vehemently denies that this will happen. He's going to stand up for Jesus till the end. And so in the story, Jesus is praying in the garden and asking for strength. And Judas has already contracted with the priest, the high priest, to arrest Jesus. And so starting in verse 47, while he was still speaking, a crowd came up, and the man who was called Judas, one of the 12, was leading them. He approached Jesus to kiss him, but Jesus asked him, "Judas, are you betraying the Son of Man with a kiss?" So this is very symbolic. This is occurring because all the prophets had foresaw this in visions, and pretty much Jesus is making sure that everything occurs the way God wants it to. Okay, but in verse 49, when Jesus' followers saw what was going to happen, they said, "Lord, should we strike with our swords?" And one of them struck the servant of the high priest, cutting off his right ear. That was Peter. So Peter here is doing his best to display his allegiance and loyalty to Jesus. He's trying his best to say, "Look, you told me that I was going to deny you. No, I'm going to stand with you to the end. We're going to fight with our swords, and we're going to see this through." And Jesus answered in verse 51, "No more of this." And he touched the man's ear and healed him. So let's talk about this for a moment. How do we really, authentically, genuinely show our loyalty to Christ? Is it through standing up for him like the world does in movements and protest? Is it through violence? Do we instigate aggression? I mean, this just doesn't sound like the way Jesus would want us to stand up for him and to be on his side. If you really think about what Jesus did to make his stand and be a rebel, if you will, in his time, it was the way he loved others. Healing the sick, dining with the sinners, forgiving sins. Not by clubbing people or cutting ears off, although many in that time thought that was the proper way to demonstrate your allegiance to a movement. So in verse 52, Jesus looks up at the chief priests and the temple guards and says, "Am I leading a rebellion that you come at me with swords and clubs? Every day I was with you in the temple courts, and you did not lay a hand on me. But this is your hour when darkness reigns." So think about what Jesus just said there. Am I leading a rebellion? I mean, are we a part of a worldly rebellion of anger and aggression and hate? Is that how we stand for Christ? How do we make our stand when aggression comes? Jesus said, I was in plain sight. I was at the temple. I was healing people. I was feeding people. That's how he made his stand and made his difference. So this week, today, I challenge you. When you feel aggression, when you feel that you're being pushed against the wall, what's your response to the world? Is it to cut people's ears off? I hope not, because you're going to get in a lot of trouble for that. Or are you going to love and forgive your enemies and heal and be the peacemaker? Because Jesus willingly went to the cross. And that's a very important part of the story. And we're going to talk about that some more this week. So this Monday, I hope you have a wonderful day. God be with you and your family. Be safe.